Our next storyteller is Boucart. Anne is a chef who grew up in Brussels, Belgium, so you'll be able to enjoy her gorgeous accent when she tells her story. She says she loves to be creative in the kitchen and recently became addicted to yoga. She also told me that she once danced ballet in front of the Queen of Belgium and fell on her face. She and I were talking about it a little while ago, and I discovered it was not recent, but I feel like there is a Speak Up story in there, and I'm hoping that we can get her back to tell it. When I asked her where she would want to escape this winter weather to go to, she said Costa Rica, because it is a rare part of the world that's still untouched. There are tons of yoga retreats, and the beaches, and the men are gorgeous. Please welcome Anne Boucart. This looks like a good head for you. You feel good?
Yeah. Bonjour. Okay, I do yoga so I can breathe too. It's a hot spring day, 1995, West Hartford. I leave my work to go get my children, Joshua, Isaac, and Shira Esther, at Solomon Schechter Day School. As I'm driving the street where I can see the backyard of my house, I see what looks like my dad sitting on a stump. He's not there. It must be a mirage. No, it's not my dad. My dad is home in Belgium, in Europe, in his chair, watching soccer, having a Stella. It was my mom. No, that can't be him. So I'm driving to get my children, and the vision of my dad sitting there on the stump just is with me. So after I get my children, I'm in no hurry, so I feel brave enough to go get groceries at the store with my children. And I'm reminded of another hot spring day that my mother told me once, the story. It's 1943, Sunni, Belgium. My mother lives in hiding in a convent. My mother doesn't like the nuns. They're mean. They made her change her name to Janine van Meeragen. They made her do her communion. But she has to go while her father, Isaac, works with the Belgian arms resistance in Brussels. Her mother, Hannah Goldwasser, was also working for the Belgian resistance. She was betrayed a year earlier by a Jewish Polish woman. She was sent to the Prison de Malines and then Auschwitz, where she perished. So there was nothing to do, not a lot to do at the convent, so the nuns gave my mother 2 buckets and said, go in the fountain, fill up the buckets with water, and in the field nearby. So she goes, and she sees blueberry bush. So as all hungry 12-year-old kid, it's the war, the food is scarce, and she eats the blueberries while wearing most of it on her clothes. So she goes get the water at the fountain, turns around, and sees something that looks like her dad. And he looks exactly when she saw him last time, wearing a wool hat, beige shirt, black pants, where it was at the Gare du Midi, the train station, where Madame André, the woman who saved her, took her hand out of her father's hand, told him that he could not come on the platform and must not know where his daughter is. So she looked and she said, "Papa? Papa?" But the mirages faded away, and he wasn't there anymore. So she took the buckets with water, and she went to back in the convent. And the director says, "Janine, when is the last time you heard from your father?" Her father had just been caught by the German on the Rue du Canal in Brussels, as he was on his way back from delivering arms to the Belgian resistance. He was then taken to Auschwitz, where he perished. So I'm in my car, and it's really a hot spring day, and I have tons of groceries, and I better hurry up, otherwise the blueberry ice cream is gonna melt. So I'm driving, I'm pulling in the driveway, I unbuckle the kids, I run behind to go around the house behind in the backyard, and I look and I said, "Papa? Papa? Qu'est-ce que tu fais là? What are you doing?" And like my mother, I got to see my dad again. Thank you.
Great job, Anne. One thing that Anne shared with us when we were talking about that story is that her parents would surprise her. They would pop in on her from Belgium. They would show up at her house. My parents here, Mom, are you asleep? My parents here were just, what are you doing there, Ma? Oh yeah, you're listening intently with your eyes closed. You better be. They live in the Berkshires. They have literally never popped in on me. You should start popping.
We'll pop.
Good, they're gonna pop. All right, great job, Anne. No, Matt says no popping. I like the idea. I like a pop.